Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, the new Powerpuff Girls, and Starverse, The Force of Evil. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
And Justin Cummings.
Hello!
Today, Delaney, Justin, and I will be discussing the August 11th episode of Summer of Steven, the Kindergarten Kid. We are discussing some of Steven's Summer Adventures every day here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. Second to last Summer of Steven Day. So sad.
Sad.
What will our life be like
cry.
without Steven Universe every single day? Oh, it'll be like most days of the year because the show
It'll be normal.
Yeah, okay. So spoilers for this episode and previous episodes. No spoilers for tomorrow's episode and future episodes because apparently it's still airing once a week after this, so we'll see about that. Anyway.
Hooray.
Let's get into... Oh, before I start, I'd like to do the rare blog plug at the beginning of the podcast because you all need to check out Sam's artist critique is finally up of Peridot and Lapis's art in beta. It's called An Artist Critiques TM, critiques Peridot and Lapis's art from beta. It is 2,500 word completely legitimate critique from Art Major Sam, who from Peridot and Lapis's art installations from...
Not just Art Major, degree. So
degree, yeah. That's great. Yeah, it's actually it's really, really good. You should check this out.
So Sam's a treasure. So
rave reviews in the comments section. I see. Okay, so let's get into the Kindergarten Kid, storyboarded and written by Raven and Paul. Delaney, general thoughts on this episode.
As a fan of Looney Tunes and Wile E. Coyote, I really enjoyed this episode. It was like really ridiculous and funny, and then there were some genuine moments in it, and Peridot was on screen, so like I was into it. So that's typically how the show goes. I don't know, it was just really sweet and funny, and like, yeah, it's not you know anything that we've seen in the past few days, but I really enjoyed it, and it was just funny, and Lapis at the end was just excellent. So overall, I enjoyed it.
Did Lapis steal the episode without speaking? That's the
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like yes. Justin, general thoughts on this episode?
I liked it. I think there wasn't a whole lot of plot development, but I think there was a little bit of substance here. I think seeing Peridot kind of get a little bit of respect for the gems, it added to the episode. But honestly, I like Looney Tunes. You can't. It's an homage to a classic, and you can't help but smile at that at least a little bit. I thought they nailed not just the plot itself, but the pacing, the fading to black after each attempt. They nailed the whole atmosphere, and I thought they did a really, really good job. And of their kind of genre homage episodes, I think this might be my favorite.
Yeah, so this is I think this might be the weirdest episode of Steven Universe. Like,
it is.
What is this doing here? That's my question.
Hands down.
It's very weird after having seen... how many plot episodes in a row? Like 10 plot episodes to suddenly get probably a genre homage episode. I mean, I feel like this is less a genre homage than a specific media tribute.
This is specifically
Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
this is literally
Roadrunner.
This is specifically Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Yeah.
The moment I saw the monster, I'm like, Roadrunner, and then it ran away, and I'm like, Roadrunner? What are you doing here?
It does. Yeah, it is. I didn't on first viewing, which was last night, by the way. This leaked last night, but I didn't specifically immediately pick up this thing was supposed to be Roadrunner, but eventually it was become very obvious, especially when Peridot literally has a boulder on top of a cliff, and
simple physics.
And then I feel like this is the most tropey Roadrunner outcome is the Roadrunner comes up next to him and pushes him down, and then the boulder. I feel like this is okay. Anyway, this is so okay. There's two halves to this, and I've had this same discussion many times. One, this is a good episode of television. They actually really, really nail the physical comedy in this episode. Mm-hmm. Boulders dropping on top of Peridot were funny every time. It was also really
it's so
good.
Funny because Peridot can't really get hurt. This is honestly the best because I feel bad for Wile E. Coyote always because he's always injured and has he's in a cast when he does things. This is perfect. Peridot that's you're really hard to poof, aren't you? It's just so good.
We're tougher than we look.
Yeah, I guess Peridot does. Yeah, I would think any of these would have poofed Peridot, but I guess not. But yeah, I think every single boulder fall was the highlight of the episode. Seriously.
So
Especially
good.
because I didn't like realize what it was doing at first, because it was just a bunch of rocks and it wasn't like a specific thing. Like because it wasn't obvious. They took a little bit and then it just kept happening, and then then they fall and then the injector falls. Like that was so good. So the timing on this is really good. It's really well executed. That being said, I really don't think episodes like this should exist of Steven Universe. I've had the same discussion. I don't know why we need to do this type of episode. I don't think this really contributed to anything. Maybe a little bit to Peridot's character, but it was really pretty one note at the end. And in terms of like big character moments, it certainly fell flat. Like for me, the highlight of the episode is not the Peridot learns to act from its point of view. I think the highlight is the comedy of it. That being said, like I think this is a super important thing for Peridot to learn and for everyone to learn, to try to think from other people's perspectives. This is something most people don't do in the world. And Peridot was having that problem. It feels a little anachronistic because I feel like Peridot's learned this. Like we just had 3 episodes ago, Peridot make the most genuine and like heartfelt and like totally reformed speech. And now we're like getting this like, oh, Peridot needs to improve her character more. So I don't know. It's this whole episode's really weird. I wish it didn't. It's not like I wish this specific episode didn't exist. I just wish the show would pivot, and it doesn't seem like it is right now. So that's a thing. But I did enjoy this one more so than many of the other, like, more low-key episodes from this event. Certainly, this is not going to be at the bottom of my rankings. That'll come out tomorrow for sure. Yeah, I mean, Delaney, do you see any more meaning than what I'm taking away from the episode?
No, not really. I mean, I do think it was a little odd. It was a little odd about this Peridot. You know, some of the things she said. I mean, Peridot is abrasive. Like that's part of who Peridot is. But we've had some really genuine moments with Peridot, and like you said, that speech we had, and it was just Peridot's come a really long way. And I mean, it makes sense and it doesn't. Like, because we've questioned along the way, you know, even though we love it and we think Peridot's excellent, we have questioned here and there, you know, how genuine is this transformation? Are they going too fast? You know, this, and this. This does make a little sense, you know, Peridot kind of falling into her old ways. And we did see, you know, when they fought Jasper, you know, like Peridot's up in the corner, like laughing and like pointing and like just being generally useless. And this was more of that. And I don't know. I don't think it's like 100% anachronistic, but I do think, like, I don't know. I guess
it's definitely not 100% anachronistic. I'm not trying to argue that. Yeah.
I feel like this. Oh no. I just meant
Yeah.
Like, because for me, like, we talked about this, like, you know, when we met Yellow Diamond, it was, you know, like, we need to see Peridot, you know, conflicting with the crystal gems, like learning how to be a crystal gem, because that was the part you weren't buying, and we talked about this. You weren't buying like the crystal gems accepting Peridot. You weren't buying this like interaction. And this is kind of the beginning of that, I think. Yeah. It's like, really, why did you bring her? And this kind of makes more sense as to why they're living in the barn. Like, I think this gives a little bit more context to things in a weird, funny way. But I do think this gives a little bit, like, there's not like a lot here, but I do think there's some little pieces here that you can pick up, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Delaney, previously on the Overly Animated podcast in January, that's what that was, like 8 months ago.
That was
referencing 8 months ago discussion. Yeah, basically I would say in summary from my point is like Peridot could use some more development. I think that's great. I'm glad we're just not having her just be a frequent secondary character who doesn't get any sort of like specific episodes or no character growth. But I would have loved this episode 20 episodes ago.
Yeah,
this would have been really. This would have helped me not think that Peridot's speech in Earthlings felt off. Like I
100% agree with that. I think.
Justin, agree or disagree?
It does feel a bit out of order, but yeah, I see what you mean.
It could be out of order, but I think
like, I think it'd be better somewhere else. But I don't.
Yeah, well,
but
it's definitely not out of order actually because they're referencing specific events of the end of season 3, so it's definitely not. Justin, do you find any other meaning that I'm not seeing from the episode?
I'm sure they were trying to say something more about the whole corrupted gem thing. I'm sure there was some extra metaphor that I will see a lengthy Tumblr post on tonight, but I couldn't follow the metaphor. I tried. I'm like, oh, they're talking about... No, that doesn't really make sense. Oh, maybe it's no. I have no idea. So maybe I'll let you know after I look at Tumblr.
Yeah, that's okay. Justin is now fully integrated. There we go. That took me
You
a
can
little
I
be
bit.
haven't
Tumblr.
seen the discourse yet. I cannot give an opinion.
Justin's now fully sarcastic with Tumblr discourse posts. So thank you. I'm glad we're at this point now.
Yeah, I'm
I
Tumblr
wasn't
and
being
Justin's
sarcastic.
Tumblr Junior, so,
Yeah, so
we're getting there.
Tumblr will soon tell us why we're wrong on this. That's what we're saying. But that being said, even if there's like there could be meaning that we're not picking up. I mean, we're just three voices and three opinions. We're also three pretty similar. Like age bracketed opinions and stuff like that. Like maybe we're missing something. But
Well, I mean, I
I'm
think
a
my thing is like
teenager.
I
Yeah,
do
you're
think
not.
there is some deeper, stuff with the corrupted gems. It's just like for me it doesn't deliver because of the comedy of the episode. Like I think that's the big part. And also
Actually,
it's kind
yeah.
of weird cuz Steven, I mean, there are so many things you can talk about with the corrupted gems in this episode. Like, how they think. They're not dumb. They just think a little bit differently than you do. And, like, there are some, like, this speaks to a lot of different things. And I think it just doesn't deliver because of the comedy of the episode. And honestly, it's weird because Steven doesn't really take charge in this episode. Like, you would really expect Steven to, like, he does, I mean, he talks to Peridot, he teaches this lesson. But this is kind of like it was just kind of an odd Steven episode. Like, he didn't really do what you'd expect him to do.
It
He
seems
just
he
let
was there
Peridot
because
do
we-
it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like. Okay, now I don't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, no, I think Delaney has a point in that you can like the comedy was like such a highlight for me. The Boulder Falls, that kind of these very general here's the lesson to be learned moments towards the end of the episode didn't really land, I think, that much. I also don't think they were super well executed. I don't think Steven throwing a somehow infinite bag of marshmallows at Peridot landed
There were
for
so
me
many
that much.
marshmallows in that bag. Like, I
That
don't
was,
understand.
Like, I think that sequence was clearly too long. It's very rare that I watch a Steven Universe scene and I'm like, this was not made correctly from my perspective. That sequence to me clearly should have been shorter. What do I know, But like, I don't often think production error. Like, I usually I'm so ingrained so into the episode. But yeah, that just seemed we just had the constant animation of Steven throwing, and it was anyway. Then Steven just says very general things throughout all this. I do love the concept of like corrupted gems aren't dumb, and they're like what's going on with them. Like I do think we should get more into that, and we certainly will. Like as a plot point, and we kind of have a little bit, but yeah, that's it's interesting. Okay, so let's a few general points before we get into specifics of the episode. So I think this episode is really notable. This is our first Peridot feature episode in forever that is not a Hillary and Lauren episode. Like I think this is kind of shocking to me. Like we get back to the controversial Paul Raven Peridot style with the giant hair. Like this is a lot of fans got very upset that Peridot could possibly be drawn in two different styles on the show, but that's how the show works. Like storyboard artists inject what they inject into this. And
I think the extra hair helps here when it comes
the
to
green
like,
Dorito lives.
when it comes to what Justin?
like her
It
like the
does
slow
look-
deterioration of her sanity by the end of the episode.
yeah, it did look good in their
No,
style.
it
I
was
think so,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The extra hair I think was needed. It helped because the whole episode was over the top. I think.
Also,
it needed
when she was like, interacting with the corrupted gem and like her head bobbing up and down, like it was necessary.
that. How long is
iconic.
Peridot's tongue? Is the real question. Because that was almost frightening.
Oh wait, so before we keep going, what do we think of the design of the corrupted gem with the three tongues, the kind of Roadrunner looking? What do you think, Justin?
I loved it. It was cute. It was funny. It was very odd. I think it was more. It's weird because it didn't feel like a Steven Universe kind of thing. Like it looked almost too generic monster for what this show typically does. They typically try to do something cool. I liked it, but it just felt too shonen anime Saturday morning kind of thing.
What do you think, Delaney?
Well, I mean, I agree and I disagree in that I don't think it was too generic. It looked like it was. I thought it was like visually, it was very interesting, and for me, it was just really funny because instead of meep meep, it had its tongue, which was just like hilarious. But for me, it's just so odd because it doesn't look like a gem. It doesn't look like a corrupted gem. Like there was one other corrupted gem that kind of looked like odd in this way when when like all of them like busted out, with the fight with Jasper. Like there was one that had like a bunch of different limbs Like it almost looked like one of the like gym
I
experiments.
saw that too. Which I mean,
And, like,
possible.
Yeah, well, I don't mean that it's like the same thing. I just mean like those two are the only ones I've really seen so far that like the big hulking corrupted corpses. And granted, it's also different. Different gyms are different, but they they look like gyms, like even if they're corrupted. But these, it's kind of furry and it doesn't look like a gym. So to me, that's why it's just odd. It just doesn't look like a gym. So I'm hoping we get a little bit more like can corrupted gyms be corrupted differently? Like what like how does corruption work? Because like we have like these two gyms that don't really look like gyms when they're corrupted, as opposed to these others that they're clearly a corrupted gym.
Yeah, Delaney took a how'd you like that design and turned it into like this giant philosophical answer on corrupted gems.
Isn't that why you keep me around?
Yeah, exactly. That's your purpose here. So my response is I like the design. Okay, moving on.
I like the tongue. I just really like it.
Do I have purpose here?
Yeah, that's we'll determine that by the end of the podcast, if that's true or not.
Stay tuned, dear listeners, for my fate.
Yeah, also stay tuned for the episode name game with Delaney by the end.
That's
the end of the episode. That's tonight. We'll see if Delaney can pick up the real. I've got it already, Justin. With the help of our listeners, like two of them, I will quiz Delaney on what's real, what's fake titles. I'm also seeing an episode list going around. But I mean that one person reblogged it. That includes a future title called Gal Pals. I assume that is not real. So
that was true.
I haven't seen it from the source.
I use that title card for everything.
No, if any show would have a episode called Gal Pals, it would be this one, of course. I'm just not seeing it from a reputable source yet. So we'll stay tuned.
Is it listed like as an episode for sure, or could it be a marathon?
It could just be a marathon. Yeah, it could. Because
I could see them doing a marathon called Gal Pals of just.
Well, I don't think Cartoon Network would do that, but maybe, I don't know.
Like if I get that name card, it'll be my background and everything except my computer because it's still Coruscant. But
that's Delaney's ultimate sign of affection, is making it her background on
my phone and my iPod.
That's how it works. Okay, let's go through specifics of the episode. Oh, I forgot to mention my favorite joke from the episode. The Boulders stuff was great, but one of my favorite jokes of Steven Universe is let's go this. Steven's like wants to stay there, and then Amethyst is like, "Are you seriously going to help her?" And Steven says, "She's all alone out here and with no idea what she's doing." Pearl, "Oh, Peridot will be fine, Steven. I meant the monster." Like,
so good.
The Cartoon Network uploaded this as a clip, and they like cut it off like right as he said, "I meant the monster," and like didn't include Garnet laughing, and it was really funny, like the way they did that. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite Steven gags. Like, she's all alone. I meant the monster. Like, I love that. Okay.
Just so good.
Yeah. So that's the highlight for me. But let's go through the episode. The concept of the season 4 premiere, I guess, is bubbling the Jasper's corrupted gems that were in cages in the Beta kindergarten, which I think is interesting. I guess that makes sense that would be their next move. But I'd kind of like to have seen them come back and like talk to Lapis and Peridot. But yeah, whatever. Lapis isn't coming on this one. She's too busy reading Pretty Hairstylist in the barn. So I don't.
So good.
I guess that's our new Lapis thing. Is like we don't want to include Lapis in this episode. The justification is she doesn't want to do anything, which makes sense, to be honest. So
I love it. No, it's so good. Like keep it up. Yes.
I'm fine.
Lazily.
Yeah. Like,
go away.
Wow.
If we're gonna have an apathetic gym, like you have to play it up, and this is so good.
Justin, we're trying to determine your purpose. You're not helping here. Like
you really aren't.
Bad puns.
Right now, your purpose is to annoy Delaney with puns. Like now, that's like, what it is.
I guess that's I mean, annoying Delaney is tired and true.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, Dylan's favorite activities.
I've usually got that covered. But so wait. I was gonna say I finally have found a gem to relate to, the gem that doesn't want to do anything and go on activities. That would be that just wants to stay at home.
No, I mean, I figured that's why you liked her to begin with.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. If only Lapis was on her computer instead of reading. Yeah, then it would be.
Someone get Lapis an iPad.
Yeah, Lapis needs to go online though.
She can get Paradots. Oh my! If Lapis gets a Twitter, I will lose my mind.
What if I think Lapis would be big on Tumblr? I feel like she would.
She'd have Pinterest. Lapis is like the Brit gym. Like
she'd have Pinterest for sure. But like, Anyway, we don't need to go. I was about to keep going, but no. Okay. I can't believe she was keeping them in cages. Isn't that what we're doing? Says Amethyst. This was, I feel like, the most. This beginning, I feel like, was the most actual philosophical relevance to the plot type of thing that they actually get into, which is pretty good. And Garnet says they're cared for in the states of the bubble and won't hurt anyone and won't suffer. That's what Rose wanted.
So they're in Pokeballs.
So yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Which I've never bought the Pokeball argument. I've always sold. Now, that being said, I'm constantly catching Pokemon on my phone now, so I'm a bad person too. But I've always thought, even like young Dylan, who was a young animal rights activist, was like, this is not. These Pokemon are being mistreated by being shoved in these balls, and I think that's the same with bubbling. I've never really bought it. I think we need to explore this further. I feel like this show should hashtag free the corrupted gems from bubbles. That's my name.
Or I don't know. I mean, I don't want this to happen because I'd cry if it did it. But one of the gems gets bubbled, and it's what's it like being in the bubble?
Oh, inside the bubble. Oh,
the real bubbled.
Be the bubble.
Yeah, the real bubble, not the yeah. Well, I don't think the show will do that. That would be interesting.
They're 100% not going to do that, but I can pretend.
I want to get into this more, though.
I can see Steven being I want to know what it's like, bubble me.
You'd have to.
They would never do that.
You'd have to be poofed, though.
This will be after the first Steven poof.
Can Steven even poof? I don't know.
Steven can't poof, though, as discussed last.
No, we can't. No, we're not going back to that. No.
Peridot, Perry, dumb things. These dumb things used to be gems. I can't believe it. Garnet calls this thing flighty, which I feel like is a good name for it. Also, I think I've called something flighty on the. Anyway, we have to look back on that. We don't have anything on this layer. We don't have anything like this on Homeworld, says Peridot, which I think is an interesting. Okay, so there's one plot movement. There's no corrupted gems on Homeworld. Justin, surprise.
Not really. I mean, I figured they were only on Earth or other rogue colonies.
I don't know if I ever thought of it as just on Earth, but in my vision, I never really specifically thought of this question, but in my vision of Homeworld, there's never corrupted gems there. Agree, Delaney?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And the thing for me, though, is that, I actually think corrupted gems only exist on Earth, especially kind of how the crystal gems treat it and how, Homeworld kind of has, zero knowledge of it. And given that we're, 95% sure that, Homeworld corrupted all of these gems in, a nuclear, song light beam.
So, yeah. So I feel like... Go ahead.
Well, it's just the crystal gems, they only know so much about corrupted gems because, they've been trying to take care of them for, the past, thousands of years.
Yeah. I think our current understanding of corrupted gems is that it's only the diamond's ultimate thing does this. And all the corrupted gems we're seeing are remnants of that one giant light attack from the diamonds X years ago. That the show hasn't explicitly said that, but that's my inference from Monster Buddies.
Well, we haven't. The only gem we've seen corrupted is Jasper, and Jasper was only corrupted because of her fusion with a previously corrupted gem. So.
Yeah, right. So we didn't know it could spread, but now we know that. Monster Reunion. I actually think that we would see corrupted gems on Homeworld because the diamonds might use the light on gems they're displeased with, and then kind of put the corrupted gems in.
It would shatter them, I think.
They could shatter them, or they could corrupt them and then put them in a dungeon below the diamond.
Well, it could also be experiments. We've proven that Homeworld is capable of basically wartime atrocities and those kinds of things. And I think there is a good chance that they obviously knew what the beam would do. Why else would you use it? Granted, it could have also been kind of the nuclear option.
Yeah. I
mean, it is the nuclear option, but so I think there's a chance that they had done experiments and they might have a base level understanding of corruption, or what causes it maybe that just the gems aren't privy to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the diamonds do. My current impression, the diamonds kind of know everything. But
yeah. It's hard not to imagine that way. I mean, they're supposedly all powerful in how they're treated in the show.
By the way, yesterday I said all of our plot lines basically are resolved right now. I do think, I think Lion's a hanging plot thread, but basically I said, Delaney wasn't there. I said basically now all our recurring plot threads, at the end of season 1, we had a bunch of stuff to resolve. Now there's not really anything. The rubies are gone. There's kind of nothing
it's
to
just
address.
It's corrupted gems again.
Jasper's bubble. The cluster, maybe we'll address that again. It's collected gems. That's more of a thematic thing. So I guess they're addressing something here. I think that my big number one hanging plot thread throughout the entire series and currently now is who made the gems. I believe that is a hanging plot thread because the show now has explicitly said that they are non-organic and that they are made species. So I feel like this is the number one thing for the show to address at some point. I don't think it'll be soon, but that's my like number one big hanging question is like, how were the gems made in the first place? Who made them? And I think given what the series has told us and constantly is enforcing that these are computers, I think this is something that is something the show is like telling us it will address in the future. So I want to get that out there. We really don't have specific plot threads. We still have kind of these very general ones, which I don't really anticipate addressing soon. And of course, we still have our big rose hanging theme. We have like themes, not plots, to address.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just these notions of things that we're like, oh, it's back.
Yeah, which is I think is a good place to be actually, because I think they're not hand tied into
Right.
I don't know what I'm looking for, but they're not like they don't like we have to like say that we're not addressing Malachite until later in season 2, or like let's have this episode where they're looking for Peridot or something like that. Like now we can just do what we want. That being said, if do what we want is have Roadrunner homages, then I don't know if that's a good thing, but, so we'll see where we keep going with this. But then again, next episode looks fabulous, so maybe it is a good thing. And this episode was good. Great. Remember, we all like this episode. Okay. Anyway, we don't have we tried to describe this. That was terrible. Pearl's play-by-play of what happened. What do you think
that
of
was
Amethyst?
so good, me.
That's
me when I explain the jokes on Rick and Morty. That's me.
Yeah, that is you. You're Pearl. What a surprise. Justin, what do you think of Amethyst blushing at Peridot making fun of them?
I miss that, but if it's Amethyst blushing, I always love that. So
you love the. Are you think this is an Amidot moment?
I love Amidot. I'm sorry, I do.
I mean, you can have Apidot and Amidot.
So OT3.
We can have all three of those things. Yes.
Let's see the poly ship. Yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see you do better. Are you seriously? Yeah. We did that line. So Peridot and Steven outsmart it. Won't stand a chance. Perry plans. I like you using the
Perry plan is great.
It's a good line. So what's the PP, which is funny given the current reference that 2 or 3 of our listeners will understand, is funny given the current state of Big Brother, where there's an alliance called PP. So I thought that was a Big Brother crossover that was happening in a totally intentional crossover in this episode, right, Delaney?
Did you not hear my eye roll? Was it not audible?
No, I didn't hear it. Give me this PP over the PP in Big Brother.
It will never be.
Go ahead.
It will never be a better alliance than last season's Scamper Squad, and I stand by that. So you can have your PP all you want.
Go first.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
I really enjoyed that. Just Steven was immediately like, "What's the PP?" Like I love Steven.
Steven buys into Peridot shenanigans.
Just goes.
Yeah, metal powers to the injector onto the monster, not falling. Yeah, this was maybe the highlight. Takes the legs out. It's like, it's not falling. Try. I don't know what Steven says, and then she like moves back and like kicks the wall, and then the boulder falls. Like.
But that was really good because he's like, watch out. She's like, thanks. And
thanks. And then moves back.
Yeah.
And this was the best moment because we didn't know that this episode was doing Roadrunner yet. So
it's so good.
And it's like, what? Like, what just happened? And then she like moves back, and then the extractor falls, the injector falls on her. Like, oh my god.
I love how you could see her through the injector. Like, that was just wonderful. Like, obviously, I know the injector's made of glass, but it was just really funny. Like, because usually when you have those things, you can't see them, but you can actually like see her through it, just being like, help.
So I thought that was that scene was very good. Second paraplan, the injector is a cannon, and then it just backfires on
with a giant switch in the back. It's so ridiculous. I love it.
This is such a Roadrunner.
It had like a toggle switch. It was so stupid. I loved it.
And then the ultimate Roadrunner one is it's will remove confounding variables. It's simple physics. So this is absurd that Peridot is literally doing Roadrunner. That being said, this is a very good explanation for why Peridot would do this. Remove the confounding variables. Yes, I agree. Let's do simple physics. This is a very logical approach from Peridot, except no, because Peridot gets stuck in her own world, I guess.
Peridot, what if it doesn't stop there? I'm trying my best.
Yeah, that's later, but it's...
that was here.
Well, I'm not there yet. I still have words to go in the outline. Drop the rock in its stupid that stupid thing. At this height, nothing can fall on us. Yeah, but I'm doing the best I can, Steven. She says, yeah, like that was. What do you think of that moment, Delaney? Were you feeling for Peridot?
Yeah, I was, and it was also really funny. Especially this kind of begins like it was just so funny every time she'd say his name. Like, I don't know if it's because she like doesn't say his name that often, but it was just really funny because she does it like 3 times in the episode, and this was the first time. It was just so good.
That's a weird thing to find to note about that aspect, but okay.
Thanks, Dylan.
Okay, thanks. Justin, were you feeling for Peridot at this point?
Yes, and in watching this, I was like, Peridot, you now understand the plights of Wile E. Coyote, and you two would get along wonderfully.
Yeah, I was not feeling for her because this is too absurd, like what was happening right now.
I need them to be watching a cartoon that's like clearly Wile E. Coyote. Like I need this now, and they're like.
Yeah, the thing comes and they fall, and then it pushes the boulder on top of them, and then boulder, and then it keeps getting ridiculous, and then like Steven gets in the bubble, and like the boulder, they like have this circular rock, and then they go through like the hamster
loop
wheel.
Is the most Wile E. Coyote thing.
Yeah, and so then you don't poof easily, huh? And then like the boulder falls on her from her. Yeah, us Peridots are tougher than we look.
And then she like moves her legs. While she's talking, it's so good.
Won't move forward until victorious. I don't get it. I'm smarter than the average Peridot.
Is that a Yogi Bear reference?
I don't think so, but maybe. This Cloddy Dum Dum, she calls it. Corruptions aren't dumb. They just think a little different. How is it not dumb? And then the marshmallow scene. Why are you bombarding me with your confectionery puff rocks? I think she said.
Yeah, puff rocks. That was so good.
Okay, there you go. Confectionery.
I love how she's confectionery, and then there's still rocks.
I don't know why Peridot knows the word confectionery. I have this problem with a few. Like, I don't have a few of their words.
Why does she know Earth physics? Like.
Well, she's been studying Earth physics. Like, that's since she's been there. I think that makes sense. But
maybe Steven has taught her the word. I don't know.
But, like, who says that? Like, that she would know.
Pearl.
Maybe she saw the confectionery sugar.
Yeah, maybe she saw the sugar or Pearl Tartar. Those are the explanations I'll accept. Okay. Pretend you're a thing from her point of view. Peridot with the hopping and sticking your tongue out is pretty good. Then they, like, fight, and then there's extended action sequence of them running over the place, and then they both fall off like the cliff or something, and then it was
really funny overall, like when Steven kept getting beat up like every time. Like I thought we didn't really note that. I thought that was really funny. Like literally every time Peridot hits it and Steven gets like the crap beat out of him. It's so funny.
I did not find this funny, but it was,
I felt bad for him, but it was also really funny.
It's like they'd already set the tone. This is just a
because it's Wile E. Coyote. That's why it was funny.
I guess so.
I'm still that person who was like, please stop throwing Steven into buildings and like rocks.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was doing.
Causing me a lot of issues.
That was my.
But in this episode, it was fine because I knew he's going to be fine because it's a Wile E. Coyote episode, and that's all this was.
They had established that no one was actually going to get hurt in this episode.
Yeah. Then Garnet and them come out. We never really left.
Most Crystal Gym thing ever.
Yeah,
like typical.
Future Vision. Yeah.
For the record, they stayed there the entire night.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Sell. I sell that.
No, that's no. Do you think Pearl was going to let them leave? Her baby was out in the wild.
Not.
Do you think?
I guess
my baby out here in the desert?
Yeah.
With her?
Was truly, and I don't think she'd say that. Was truly, and work on that. I gotta workshop that impression. That's not on.
I know.
Workshop. Yeah. You have to master Dylan's like the one voice Dylan has for impressions, but you have to make it work. You got to work on it.
By the way, I was thinking recently, I've done an impression from Steven Universe, but I don't remember who it was of. So if listeners remember, please tell me this.
I don't even.
It was of Onion?
No. I don't think it was.
No, Dylan would never do that. Dylan doesn't even like talking about Onion.
I wouldn't do that to myself. Yeah, was truly an adversary worthy of my skill. Bubbles it. This is another plot development, I guess. Peridot and Bubble. Nice bubble, Perry, says Amethyst. I love that Amethyst. That's my biggest Amethyst thing is that Perry. Yes. Amethyst calls her Perry.
Yes.
Send it off. Tap the top.
Also, I was shocked she could bubble.
Yeah.
I don't understand how bubbling works.
I thought only Garnet and Steven and Rose could do it. Like, we still haven't seen Pearl bubble to the best of my knowledge, but we saw Amethyst bubble now, and now Peridot.
It's I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Lapis bubbles didn't count. They were just water.
They're water bubbles.
Yeah. Home bubble in the barn. So what do you think of the bubble going home, which is to the barn? I guess that makes sense.
The Laphadot in home.
It's home. Yep.
Laphadot.
I was questioning. I was like, where is Peridot's bubble gonna go? She's never been to the temple, in the bubble room.
Yeah.
And then I thought, like, Homeworld, I thought just it was gonna be the middle of something stupid, and then they put it in the barn of Lapis, and I'm like, that was perfect.
And it could have been anywhere in the house, and it was where Lapis was, so clearly Lapis is Peridot's home now. That's your shipping moment from Delaney.
Home is where the Lapis is.
And what do you think of Lapis reading Pretty Hairstylist?
Excellent. Also, everyone's been really mean to her on Tumblr about it. Like, I didn't even know. I kept seeing posts about, like, I'm glad Lapis is working on her hair, and I was like, that is so rude. And I didn't
Rude,
understand that it's from a magazine. Like, I had no clue.
Yeah,
rude.
Lay off
Why you gotta be
Lapis.
so rude.
Please. Yeah, no, stop. And they're not.
Okay.
But okay. So it's there you go. That's the episode overall. I guess it was good. That's my reaction.
That was the most lackluster conclusion to a podcast.
Let's read the one ask we have about this. Anonymous says, I loved the episode because it was funny, but it's really stuck out to me that they shelved the other gems for really no reason. The show is an ensemble piece only, kind of, but they haven't really had a whole group together for an entire episode since Hit the Diamond, and even then Peridot was in the barn. How much funnier would this episode been if we had seen all the other gems actually reacting to Peridot's blunders and purposely staying out of it? So I think this is a good point. The show, I talked about this recently, the show clearly is segmenting the characters that they're using per episode, and they know it's kind of absurd that they're only using certain characters for certain episodes, and they don't really care, which I think is a good decision. If you're going to do this, like, whatever, just do it. Should they be having more characters per episode? I think that's probably hard to do storytelling with like 10 gems there, but
yeah.
I guess it's
also,
only,
especially
like, 6,
because the gems don't really like. I mean, yeah, Peridot, like, that's the problem too, though. Like, I mean, I talked about this before. There are the crystal gems, and then there are the gems that Steven is friends with.
Yeah.
And, like, Peridot says she's a crystal gem, but the gems are, I mean, it's very clear in this episode. I mean, they're like, yeah, Peridot, but they're not really, like, she's not in the in group yet. Like,
Yeah.
it's so, it makes sense, but
yeah,
it's like,
I think one of the problems with this is that they, even though they don't care, they do have to keep making excuses for why someone's not there. Like we had to have the other gems here and then have them leave and then just have it be Peridot and Steven.
Which is going to get really annoying, like, especially if we keep getting more.
Yeah.
Are there more on the horizon? I don't know.
When we get Kala, whatever the red one was from that we talked about from that episode, I don't remember. But
Carnelian,
yeah, whatever. That's our next gem. I'm calling it. But yeah, it's I do think this is kind of a problem with the show setup. I think it's related to the 11-minute constraint.
Yes.
This is a larger discussion. We'll see what happens. But this is it's I don't know.
I think it has a lot to do with the dynamics of the characters right now too. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have Lapis anywhere near the crystal gems because she hates them, and then
I don't think she hates them at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of weird interactions, and I think, like, we're getting there. Like, we're gonna have like a major showdown, blah 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 blah, eventually, all this stuff. But it's like, it's just, it's not that they've like shot themselves in the foot or anything over it. Like, oh, we have to have these dynamics. I mean, it all works well. It's just like it's a little awkward right now because we're in a good place seemingly. It's just awkward.
Awkward. Justin, any brief thoughts on this?
I think sometimes they don't even address it, and I think it works okay in those scenarios, like Mr. Greg, where they didn't even address where Garnet and Amethyst were. I think I'd rather them start the episode already at least in the situation where the other gems aren't there, because it feels less awkward than, oh, here's 4 of us, we're gonna walk off screen now, you guys have fun, enjoy your 11 minutes.
Yeah, I do think we should just be there. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Let's just start there. Let's not have to have the excuse of like, and like at last episode ask Lapis like, do you want to come with us and stuff like that. No, like just yeah, sometimes you have to have that, but like let's just start there. Yeah, I agree. So we'll see how the show deals with it in season 4. It's actually season 3, but whatever. It's going to be interesting to see how the show handles stuff in the future, and we'll see what we get in the rest of the season.
As we become Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. But first, it is time for, there's another Big Brother reference, but it is time for the Delaney, the episode title. Can you guess the actual Steven Universe episode title? Delaney, I have 3 sets of 3 episode titles. One is tomorrow's episode title. Somehow Delaney does not know the episode.
How?
Somehow. One is the September 1st episode title. And one of the 3 groups has no real episode titles. So I made it extra hard because I think one of them's obvious. But so one of them, so there's 3 sets of 3. 2 of them contain real episode titles. One of them does not. I'm not going to tell you whether the grouping contains an episode title or not. So here's your first grouping. Your answer is
so I have to like there's one group that I have to be like none of them, and then
you have 4 possible answers here: A, B, C, or none of them. Okay, Delaney. Okay.
I said okay.
Okay. Yeah,
sorry.
I guess you blipped.
Maybe I blipped. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
So there you go. There's insight into our production. The audio. Okay. So here's the first episode title grouping, okay? Okay. Thanks to our listeners and myself for coming. I didn't spend that much time, by the way, so I'm sorry if some of these are bad. A, Steven's Super GameCube Adventures. B, Know Your Fusion. C, Dogcopter 5. What is your answer? A, B, C, or none?
I have to opt out of this question. You remember when I told you I didn't know the name of? I thought it was today's episode.
So
I didn't know Kindergarten Kid. I know it's Know Your Fusion.
Oh my god, that's the whole point. Jeez, I don't think you would. You probably would have got it because it's the obvious one. But okay.
I mean, no, it's Super GameCube Adventures though. If I didn't know, like I was gonna be
obviously
like,
they're not gonna have GameCube in the name. But yeah, that was one of the listener suggestions. Okay, so the whole point is ruined already. Okay,
I really don't know anymore though. I promise.
Okay.
Can I?
Like,
I know
what
next
September
week's
1st
title.
is.
Can I come up with another round off the top of my head? Because I know next week's title.
No, it's not next week's title. It's the September 1st one.
I know, but there are more titles.
You can. Okay, you can think of one for next week. Okay, while we do these other two. Okay, so now you're okay. So this next grouping, A, Secret Team 2. B, Pink Diamond's Origin. C, Beneath the Crust. Or D, none of the above. What is your answer here?
I mean, none of them are fun, so I feel like the point is that some like these are so ridiculous. One of them has to be fun, and there's no way there's an episode title as Pink Diamond's Origin. Like that's absurd.
Why
like
not?
I can't. Why would they do that? All the episodes are like really weird. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I'm gonna go with this is the Nun group.
Yes, correct. I think that's obvious too. I'm not saying this is a hard game. I'm saying this is a game.
It's just to make fun of Delaney if she gets it wrong.
I think these were all listener titles. Okay, grouping C.
I will say Pink Diamond's Origin almost tricked me because I was almost like, would they do this?
I wouldn't have made that fake title, so I feel like that could have been tricky. Yeah. Okay. Grouping C. So you know it's one of these,
right?
Because you already got that.
It's gonna be hard.
A, My Little Lion.
Oh God.
B, Lonely Blade the movie. C, Future Boy Zoltron.
Oh God. Well, I feel like they wouldn't do Lonely Blade the movie because we've had Dogcopter, and if they were gonna I just like you don't do the Dogcopter joke twice. Like well they did it twice. I just meant they wouldn't do like another one. I'm gonna go with A.
A, your answer is My Little Lion.
Yeah.
Which is my fake title because My Little Pony, My Little Lion. So no,
obviously, for the record, I understood the reference and
Okay.
I wouldn't put it past the show.
Yeah, they would have done that. I feel like that was my best fake title. Yeah. So
It was
okay,
pretty
good.
good.
I'm glad that worked. Okay, but I think this was obvious because what is Zoltron? Future Boy Zoltron is the September 1st title. What is that even? The problem is this is like Voltron. This is Voltron with a Z.
Yeah,
so
see, that's
I was thinking of like all fake Voltron titles. Like I was gonna have like Varcon. I feel like that was my fake title options. But yeah, so that is the description for that episode is Steven tells people's fortunes at Funland. Okay.
So Zoltron is his genie name,
Yeah,
or
I guess
whatever.
So. Yeah. There you go.
I honestly thought that was the fake one because I was like Voltron.
Yeah. Justin, do you have a group?
I have them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Delaney, for the episode title for August 18th, 2016.
No, I know she knows. I told her this one already.
You know August 18th?
I think we'll see if she remembers, but I told her this one. Yeah.
Okay.
You can change it out for any of the other ones we haven't.
All right, then August 25th, since I
Okay.
doubt you know it.
Yeah.
Wait, afterwards, can we tell me the 18th?
Yeah, we can tell you. Yeah, she doesn't know the 25th. Yeah. Okay.
All right. August 25th, 2016. Will it be A, Mindful Education, B, Lion 4 in 3D, or C, Adventures in Funland?
I'm just gonna say B because I want it to be B.
Delaney, you're never. The trick to this game is that one of them's unexciting, so it's always that one. Like
It's always that way.
Yeah.
I don't. The thing is, like sometimes, like we've had episodes though. It's like Lion 2 straight
yeah,
to
no.
Like, how am I supposed to know? Like,
On this fake episode list, by the way, is Lion 4 the prequel. So I don't know if that's real or not, but
I almost picked Lion 4 Laserdisc
yeah,
because my regular show is showing.
yeah,
But no, August 25th is Mindful Education, where Stephen and Connie learn to focus better.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Like,
Anyway,
figure out
I read this one a while ago. I don't know if you'd remember, Delaney. The August 18th is Buddy's book. Stephen visits the library with Connie and uncovers a long lost book. I think I said that earlier.
You told me about it being a library, but I don't remember the name of the episode, so I wouldn't have gotten that right.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So Delaney has failed the naming game. Buzz, Rob's taboo buzzer. Buzz.
You can send me asks about how stupid I am. It's okay.
So let us. Okay, we'll see if this episode.
And if you know know more titles and you want to play this game with me, go ahead,
Yeah,
because
let's-
Delaney doesn't know any of the titles.
There's also
I'm in my Xbox.
okay.
guys. I
There's
have
one.
no
There's one
idea.
other super absurd title in this fake list, but if it's, I'm gonna like not say it in case it's real because I want to do that as a name game. So we'll see. Okay. So that's it for this one. Let me see if I got
What's
more
my
else.
purpose?
You were the
have
backup
not-
game master.
Okay, you're the backup game master and the one who comes up with bad puns, but you've not really developed a purpose throughout the point of this the
Oh,
course of this podcast.
I mean, it's okay. You have more podcasts. We'll figure it out.
There's many
I
more to
have
come.
more?
I guess so. I guess we'll let you back on for another one.
hooray!
Probably like Sunday's one, which you already recorded. So I guess you're on that one.
I guess you're on that one.
Tomorrow, join Michelle and potentially Delaney and I to discuss Know Your Fusion. It's going to be super fun. We'll see if it leaks tonight. We'll see, or tomorrow. But yeah, very much looking forward to that episode. It's I've heard commenter Steve thinks it might be a clip show. I don't think so. We'll see.
I really hope it's not a
there's-
clip
it's-
show.
There's the
I'm
most.
pretty sure it's literally the Tonight Show of Jimmy Fallon.
Okay,
I'm pretty
please,
sure.
please. That's the reason they think it's a clip. There's the most modicum of evidence, like that this is a clip. I don't think it is a clip show. Anyway, so we'll get into that. There's spoilers for Justin SMH. I mean, we don't. That doesn't mean anything. But like, what's the context
Sorry.
for that? You couldn't even possibly guess what the context for that is. Okay. Anyway, so we'll get into that tomorrow, and that's our last one for Summer Steven, and then weekly episodes after that. It looks like none of which will be plot consequential. Hooray! Dylan's favorite. So
Yep.
remember to read Sam's article. Look out for my my rankings on the Overmade blog. Check out.
I might make a ranking if I'm like mad at Dylan about it.
I do a lot of blogs. You should
Yeah,
totally read them.
check out Justin's weekly total drama reviews, etc., etc. Delaney is 100% not going to make her own ranking. It's taking me so long to do this. She's not going to have the patience for that. I guarantee you.
Dylan, you act like I put forth the time and effort into my rankings the way you do.
Yeah, but I have to like make it a heading and like make an image there and like,
Those
format
do
it.
take a long
It
But
takes
time.
Dylan,
so
I just
long.
copy.
Lot of
But Dylan, I copy yours and then
Yeah,
I flip
maybe
them
you
around
do
because I
that.
disagree with you. So
We'll
that's
do
why
that, but
I do it.
I don't think you'll do that, but we'll see. We'll see in the future.
It depends on how much I disagree with
It's
you.
a pretty
if
standard.
I don't disagree,
the
I
only
won't do
the only
it.
one is the new Lars is very high, but other than that,
But
I
I
think it's
like
pretty
that
standard.
one.
I think it's pretty standard, honestly. But
Probably.
anyway, overlyanimated.com. Leave us iTunes reviews if you enjoyed this podcast. Can't believe we went almost 15 minutes on this episode. It's only because of the game at the end. But thank you. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to our patrons: Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Devon, Jade, John, and new patron Phonician today. I assume that's not the real name, but who knows? Phonician has not yet joined us in the Facebook Patreon group, so please, Phonician, if you are listening, follow the link that the thank you message should have given you. If not, email us and I'll send you the link, or I might just message you anyway.
And then we can talk to you and give you a nickname.
Yeah, so then we'll work on the nickname. But thank you very
And
much.
we'll all be best friends.
Yep, that's how it works. Right. So thank you, and the nicknames being Fever, Mitch, Garner, Steve Beach, Strange, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz Like Your Mailman, Rachel Rose, Johnny Bravo, Brian, Cookie Cat, Needle, Diamond Day, Jewel, potentially Garfield. We're still thinking about that one, and to be determined for Phonician. So back tomorrow to discuss Know Your Fusion. Going to be a fun one. And that's it. Thanks, guys, and let me know your feedback on any of this, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.